More than a decade ago, President George W. Bush warned that America must be prepared ahead of time for the next pandemic. However, as One America's Pearson Sharp explains, President Obama may have ignored those warnings. And now the president, Trump, is working hard to protect Americans. Take a look.
Following the outbreak of SARS in 2004, President George W. Bush addressed the nation, outlining what steps America must take to prepare for the next epidemic.
It is vital that our nation discuss and address the threat of pandemic flu now. Our strategy is designed to meet three critical goals. First, we must detect outbreaks that occur anywhere in the world. Second, we must protect the American people by stockpiling vaccines and antiviral drugs and improve our ability to rapidly produce new vaccines against a pandemic strain. And third, we must be ready to respond at the federal, state, and local levels in the event that a pandemic reaches our shores. And one day, many lives could be needlessly lost because we failed to act today.
President Bush gave this warning back in 2005. Then, a new administration took over in 2008 and did nothing. Even worse, Obama chose to ignore repeated warnings from the U.S. intelligence community that a new pathogen was just around the corner. He ignored those warnings through several major outbreaks until finally, President Trump took office.
As we gather today, our country is at war with an invisible enemy. We are marshaling the full power of the American nation, economic, scientific, medical, and military, to vanquish the virus, and we will do that.
President Trump has taken unprecedented steps to protect the American people, leading the way forward to a safer, stronger nation. And even though America has been the hardest hit, we've also been the most well-prepared, thanks to President Trump.
My administration is taking new action to ensure that America has the medical resources and equipment needed to fight the global pandemic. Millions and millions of pieces of equipment have been delivered successfully by us, purchased and delivered.
President Trump was fast to act by shutting down our borders before anyone else recognized the threat. Yet he still faced criticism from both Republicans and Democrats for taking a step that turned out to be 100% correct. And now, after we deployed 2 hospital ships on both America's coasts and built so many emergency hospitals, they can't all be used because the virus has been contained so quickly, there simply aren't enough patients to keep them open. If anything, President Trump was overprepared, and now we're sending our surplus supplies to other nations that weren't as prepared. So despite the massive disruption to our nation, despite the inaction from his predecessor, despite unparalleled opposition from Democratic governors and those in Congress, President Trump is tackling the pandemic head on. On Tuesday, he even announced a new task force of political leaders, business, and medical advisors who will help lead the way in getting America back on the road to recovery.
My administration's plan and corresponding guidelines will give the American people the confidence they need to begin returning to normal life. That's what we want. We want to have our country open. We want to return to normal life. Our country's going to be open, and it's going to be successfully opened.
Now, more than ever, Americans need a leader who puts the country ahead of politics. And President Trump's historic actions have shown he's willing to step in and make sure Americans are protected like never before. For One American News, I'm Pearson Sharp.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.